The Rangers are going to need a miracle from the hockey gods to sneak into the playoffs after whatever it was they put on tape last night at the Garden, that blowout loss to the Lightning. Let's talk all things Blue Shirts with Jim Cerny. He is the executive editor and creator of Forever Blueshirts. Jim, let's get straight into this thing, man. First and foremost, thanks for hopping on with this, but it's just been the same story, different night. They came in looking like a team, or were supposed to look like a team with something to play for. 7 shots on Vasilevsky versus 1 against in the first half of the opening frame, but then it just absolutely all fell apart from there. Is this team, I guess I don't know, Jim. Like, I wanted to ask for X's and O's and what happens, but is this team just pretty much checked out on the season?
So here's the thing. I don't know that you can ever say a professional athlete, and you would know better than I, right? Ever completely checks out. I think an athlete shows up and they have pride and they play to the best of their capability. But it is just the mojo is just not going the Rangers' way this year, and obviously they have to take the blame for that. It's not just something that happens and it's out of their control. A lot of it is in their control, um, but it's just you look at them and they look like dead team walking. Peter Laviolette looks like dead coach walking right now. Nobody has answers. You talk to them after the games, you listen to their quotes, you see the blank expressions. I mean, they are lost, Brandon. They are completely lost. I think they're befuddled. I don't think they have the answers. And as such, they got 5 games to go. They have to run the table. Really, realistically, they have to run the table. They haven't won 5 games in a row all season. What makes us think that they're going to do it now?
Yeah, and as a former professional athlete and a guy who stands up and advocates for the athletes on Twitter and goes back and forth with fans when they talk about, oh, these guys are checked out, oh, these guys, and not just necessarily talking about Rangers, just athletes in general, I'll be the first one to jump on that grenade for some guys if they look like the effort is there. But after that first goal, and then you get 3 goals in the span of 1 minute and 45 seconds, it looked like this team is absolutely checked out, Jim. Like you said it yourself, Laviolette has kind of called them out. The last time I had you on here, he called them out about their effort and their compete level. That should never happen. So with 5 games left on the season and them being 6 points behind the Canadians for the final wild card spot in the East, how is a team that won the President's Trophy last season pretty much out of the playoff hunt this season? Like, how do we get here, Jim?
Here's the thing, right? I don't know that anybody has that answer. I don't think Chris Jury has it. I don't think Peter Laviolette has it. I don't think opposing coaches or players or analysts or I don't think anybody fully understands why the Rangers have plummeted from a year ago. Here's the biggest thing to me. And there are so many aspects to this, but here's one of the biggest things. The Rangers last year had so much fight in them. How many times they were down in the third period, rallied, tied, won, found a way, made a difference, pushed their agenda on the other team, right? There was no quit in that team. I know it was a whole marketing slogan, no quit in New York. That was the Rangers thing for a few years, but they played like that. It doesn't happen anymore. And I don't know if that's a confidence thing, if it's a confidence thing in one another, but when something bad happens to them, it becomes a complete meltdown. And that's what we saw against the Lightning. It wasn't just, oh, the Rangers allowed a power play goal. All right, let's clean it up. We're only down 1-0. Let's get the next goal and let's get back in this game. No, it's a complete meltdown. 3 goals, a minute 45. 3 goals in under 2 minutes. And that's the entire game. Rangers ended up with 40 shots on goal. They did some really good things. They really owned the puck 5-on-5 throughout most of this game. But 3 goals, a minute 45, and they were cooked. And even when Mika Zibanejad scores early in the second period, in the past, you'd say, oh, Rangers got it now. We're 3 minutes into the second period. They're only down 3-1. They got some momentum. They scored a power play goal. They haven't been scoring on the power play. This will get them going. But you didn't see any build off of that. And even when Zibanejad scored, there was no, yeah, that's it. Here we go. It was just there was no expression. There's no joy in this team anymore. On top of, I think their confidence is shot. And when one bad thing happens, a string of bad things happen. 23 times this season, Brandon. 23 times the Rangers have allowed multiple goals in under a 2 minute span. And they don't come back from multiple goal deficits. Not once this season have they come back from a multiple goal deficit. No team in the NHL, even the teams at the bottom of the NHL, like the San Jose Sharks, have at least one or two of those type wins this year. So they've gone from this team that had so much resolve and believed in themselves and knew that they could always come back to a team this year that just is incapable of doing so.
Again, that's why I'm putting it on the players. That's like the things you're saying about how they would come back last year, how they can't come back from being down multiple goals. I don't put that on the head coach. I don't put that on Chris Drury. I put that on the leadership in the locker room. And that's not me calling these guys out. I'm not a hockey guy. I don't know what they go through. But there's no way that after the run they had, the remarkable run they had last season, that this team looks completely different than what they looked like last year in terms of being able to face and battle through adversity. Last question here, Jim, because you've already seen Chris Drury make a lot of moves, and that started at the beginning of this year with Jacob Trouba being shipped up out of New York. Do you feel like this is the end? These last 5 games of the regular season is the end of Chris Kreider's time as a Ranger?
It feels that way, right? And it's felt that way for a long time. Obviously, Chris Drury put Chris Kreider's name in that memo to the 31 other general managers and said, hey, we're looking to move him, along with Jacob Trouba. This was back in November. So we already know that he's laying the groundwork for it. Now, it's not going to be so easy. Chris still has a couple years at $6.5 million annually that he's got to be paid. So do the Rangers have to pick up some of that salary to make it easier to move him? Chris Kreider may have to waive no move clauses, and he has certain teams he can't be traded to. So it's not going to be easy, and it could be messy. And I know Kreider really well, and he's a class individual. But listen, he's also a lifelong Ranger. And if he wants to make it tough on them, like Jacob Trouba did last summer, he can make it tough on them. And it could get uglier because I still believe, by and large, Ranger fans adore Chris Kreider. I mean, I guess they get that he's played hurt this year, and certainly his production side. He's not the same guy anymore. He's not the same impactful player anymore. But I still think he's got the fans on their side, right? Jacob Trouba didn't have that. Yeah, they're like, oh, this guy makes $8 million a year. He's not worth it. Let's get rid of him. Chris Drury's right. Oh, now Trouba's standing in the way. But if Kreider stands up to the Rangers here, it could become really messy because I think this fan base, by and large, still has affection for a guy that's been a career-long Ranger. But do I feel like when the summer's over, training camp begins, do I think Chris Kreider and his number 20 are going to be in training camp with the Rangers? I do not.
That's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of fans, especially after the season that they've had. Man, I wish we could talk about the Rangers on a more positive level, Jim. But right now, it just is what it is. Thanks for hopping on with us today, sir.
You got it. Hang in there, Brandon.